So in number 17, once again, we're not told that we have ABCD as a parallelogram, but we are told that AC is the same as BD. So when we draw this, here is our thing. If this AC is the same length as BD, then the diagonals are congruent, and we should know this shape is a rectangle, because congruent diagonals is one of the properties that separates a rectangle from all the other shapes. So we know we're dealing with a rectangle. The top and bottom are congruent and parallel, sure enough. Here is point E right there in the middle. We know that from E to B to C, this angle right here is 60 degrees. And A to B is 12. We want to figure out what is the length from A to D. So we're going to use this right triangle to help us out. So there's our right triangle, and because of parallel angles, we know this is also 60 degrees. Okay, that's got to be 90. This has to be 90. This has to be 90. That has to be 90. So if you remember, which you may or may not, a 60-degree angle means that we have a special right triangle. Okay, in fact, let me draw it correctly, because that does not look like it should look. So let me draw it so your eyeballs believe me. Here we go. Now it's a 60-degree angle. It was just oriented the wrong way. Taller than it is wide. So this is now a 60-degree angle. This side is 12. So hopefully you remember from your special right triangles, that's the short side. This is, of course, your hypotenuse, and this is the long side. So for our 30, 60, 90 relationship, in order to go from the long side to the short side, I have to do two things. Divide by 3 and times by radical 3. So 12 radical 3 divided by 3. The 12 and the 3 cancel out and give me a 4 radical 3 as my answer. So unless you remember your special right triangle relationships, there's probably no way for you to ever figure this one out. Sorry. No, just kidding. In case you forgot your special right triangles, we could always use trig. So let's show you the trig for a 60-degree angle. 12 is the opposite side, and this is your adjacent side. So we could write down the trig relationship, tan 60 equals 12 over x. Solving for x, we get 12 divided by tan 60. And my calculator says this is 6.93, which is 4 radical 3 as a decimal approximation.